What if I told you that the IRS could legally force you to withdraw money from your retirement account? They can increase your taxes, they can increase your Medicare costs, they can tax your Social Security to the max, and they can leave less money to your family, even if you did everything right. Now, that's exactly what's happening to millions of retirees each and every year. Over the next several videos, we're going to break down each and one of these specific 6 chain reactions individually and why it's so important to convert to a Roth IRA strategically and properly. Very important. We're going to give some examples of a few different scenarios and how by not converting can possibly quietly destroy your retirement income and quality of life, and also why the longer you wait to do the conversion, the worse it can be for you. And who knows, by the time you're done watching this series, you may know more than most financial advisors and planners out there. You're going to get to see how our Roth Blueprint software can assess thousands of different scenarios, showing you a great overview of your current trajectory baseline, we call the baseline path, compared to what an optimal path might look like. And as you can see, this one assessed 1,593 different scenarios. And in turn, this can help you possibly achieve up to 100% more growth in income in retirement by doing a 401k or IRA to Roth conversion. Now, mind you, it has to be done strategically and properly, and it's all based on many values, such as your goals, your income, your savings amounts, and all that fun stuff. But just like the couple that we're going to talk about right here that you can see, they had saved $1 million that they thought they had won the retirement game with. But when they saw what it looked like when their RMDs kicked in, well, their Medicare premiums went up, their taxes went up, their Social Security taxes went up, their tax bill jumped. And so they were very shocked, to say the least, that nobody had warned them that any of this would happen. Fortunately, our Roth Blueprint software helps show them a proper and strategic backdoor Roth strategy conversion, helping them potentially achieve a tax-free wealth of nearly an additional $4 million, as you can see here. Fortunately for them, our Roth Blueprint software showed and helped them how to have a proper and strategic backdoor Roth conversion. It helped them potentially achieve a tax-free wealth of nearly an additional $4 million. And by doing this backdoor Roth conversion using the Roth Blueprint software, we designed it to help you convert to a tax-free form of wealth by setting it up so you have no out-of-pocket costs, you have no increased tax brackets to go up on you while you're doing the conversion, and of course, no loss of your initial principal in that conversion process. But first, before we should look at your specific situation and numbers, you need to be educated. You need to know if this even is the right conversion or thing to do for you. Does it make sense? Is this something that you want to do and should do? Education will help you decide that, and that's the only way to figure it out. And then if you decide it makes sense, then we can look at your specific numbers later on. Hi, I'm Dr. Dylan Foster, the founder of FPP Financial, where we specialize in tax-free retirement strategies. That's our main focus. Strategies to help you not just get the most money out of your retirement portfolio, but also, and most importantly, get the most income in retirement. And we do this while focusing on securing your assets so they're protected at the same time. Now, I'm probably sure you've heard it's not about the size of your portfolio or how big it is and how much you've saved, but actually it's more about how you can access and spend each and every month, because that's the numbers that matter the most. And yes, oftentimes this means working with your current financial advisor, not replacing him or her, but working with him to get you the most money in retirement and make it the most secure and stable. And for me, when it comes to retirement planning and helping you get the most money out of your retirement, I like to quote Warren Buffett. He has 2 golden rules of investing that we're going to show you right now. First rule, make sure you don't lose any money. And because that rule was so important to Warren Buffett, he added rule number 2. Rule number 2 was, don't forget rule number 1. That's how important it was. So now the question you really should be asking yourself is, what am I investing in or doing that could cause me to lose money? Well, surprise, I have an acronym for just that, and that is time. T stands for taxes. This is probably your biggest destroyer of your qualified retirement account. And as you can see, that we're now approaching $40 trillion of our U.S. national debt. And this is unprecedented, a level of debt never ever seen before in our history. And to top it off, we're currently adding $1 trillion every 5 months. And of course, the typical political solution isn't about money management, saving more, spending less, making more, the logical stuff that you and I would be doing if we were in that kind of debt. Well, we'd never get that kind of debt. But it's all about taking other people's money in the form of taxes. Now, let me ask you two questions. First, are we at our highest or lowest tax rates in our history? Now, if you guess lowest, you're probably right. In fact, I know you're right. Because historically, we are at the lowest we've ever been since they were put on us. And if you look back at World War II, you can see here that they had to save America, so they had the highest highest bracket rates, if you will, up in the 90% range. And that was that way for over a few decades before they slowly started coming down. Which then leads me to question number 2. Do you think taxes will be lower, higher, or the same in the future? If you're like most of us and most people out there, you said higher, well, that can only make sense, right, with how our government works historically. But the big question is how much higher? Will they go up into that 90% range again? I don't know. Regardless of which political party you're involved with, or what power, whoever has power, whatever in the government at that time, we're facing a large debt burden. That's all that matters. And we have to look at history and what history's done. And that is to solve the solution. It's always been to raise taxes. Again, it doesn't matter what political party you're part of. So if they do raise taxes, I want you to ask yourself a question. If you think taxes are going to be going up in the future, why on earth would you even be considering for even a moment to be keeping your money and put it in a situation, in a system where you can lose a larger part of it because of those taxes going up in the future? Why would you have it there? And this will be at a time literally when you need your money the most because you're hopefully not having to go back to work. So why wouldn't you just get those taxes paid over and done with? So that way you don't have to worry about dealing with taxes going up in the future, no matter what America is going through. Our next cause for financial losses is I for inflation. Of course, to aid in protecting our financial system, temporarily I might add, the feds are printing money like water coming out of a spigot. For example, check out this mind-blowing stat right here. In 2020, we had 4 trillion American dollars in circulation. 4 trillion. Just fast forward 3 years, and I can only go 3 years to get an actual official statistic. We then had $19 trillion in circulation. That's a 375% increase in printed money in just 3 years. 375%. Another historical record. Not a good one, though. And I know for a fact that we've printed more money than that in the past 3 years. So I know it's gotten a lot worse. And just from my perspective, in the past 6 years, I've seen things go up dramatically. In fact, most stuff I buy for my house and vehicles, things like that, a lot of stuff is up as much as 300%. And in my 55 years being on this planet, I've never seen things go up that fast and that much. Now imagine if you're sitting on a fixed income like my parents and the cost of living triples during your retirement, but your income doesn't go up or account for that, right? You didn't plan ahead. What would you do? Would you sell off your assets? Would you downsize? Would you go back to work? Move in with your kids? No, and let them take care of you now? And next is M for market volatility. And this one's extremely important because we're all taught at an early age that the market goes up, it goes down some years, you win some, you lose some. But yes, in the long run, it balances out and you will hopefully come out ahead. And some people do, which is most often the case. But when we get towards retirement, we know that we want to get more conservative because we don't have years to wait to play for catch up. And market losses, I want to give you an example of how much that can affect you. So we've got time, we got taxes, right? Inflation, and then market volatility, where what I want to show you is how losses can hurt more than gains can help. So let's put some of this market volatility into perspective. I'm not sure if you know or remember anybody from 2000 or 2008 that went through that crash, but the average person with their money in the market, it took them nearly 5 years just to break even. And that's without pulling money out. Okay. If they were pulling money out, it could take longer. So this graph right here shows that if you have a 50% market loss, you have to have a 100% market gain to simply break even. And that can take many years for that to happen. Can you be patient in retirement while you're doing this? Or do you need to not have that happen? And this next picture here, it shows even worse that if you're pulling out just 5% out of your portfolio and the market tanks a mere 10%, then you need the market to grow by 44% for you to play catch up. The market drops 30%, then it needs to go up by 85% to play catch up. 85%. Why is this so important? Well, it's only important if you want to make sure that you don't run out of money before you die and that you don't have to reduce your income or lifestyle or pay and sell off assets or go back to work while it's, trying to balance out. And the last letter for time is E for economic uncertainties. And I actually never thought this would be something that we would be talking about. If I told you in 2019, you'd say I was crazy that, we're going to force people to get shot, stay in their homes, be fired from jobs if they don't do that and abide, close down millions of businesses, which obviously all that led to a major financial collapse of a lot of businesses and bankruptcies. So if we look back, we didn't think this would ever happen to us, but it could also be something that it could be a war, which we're in right now, or a natural disaster, or extreme fraud, or even a cyber attack. So this is time. This is taxes, inflation, market volatility, and economic uncertainties. These are the things that Warren Buffett says we need to avoid indirectly, right, through losses. But these are the things that I work on helping my clients with and protecting them from time. In our next video, I'm going to show you a simple metaphor involving Michelangelo's statue of David that may completely change how you view your IRA and 401k accounts. And trust me, you're not going to want to miss out on this video. It's actually really fun, informative, but more importantly, it's going to help you realize how important it is to convert your 401k or IRA. Now, if you'd like to know whether these 6 chain reactions could affect you, click on the link in the summary below, or you can click on the QR code here that we're going to show you right now. You'll have a no obligation, a no pressure, complimentary or free retirement tax analysis by me personally, where I'm going to get to show you exactly where your retirement path is headed towards, the baseline, and what it could possibly be if that may be better for you or not. So if you found this video helpful, please make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell below.